Iman is only beautiful when you have love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's very more than obvious for any of you that are Muslim that are listening right now, that if you were walking down the street and somebody humiliated your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter, you would not just walk by. You would not be offended. You wouldn't just say, oh, the rest of the family have sabr, it's okay. You wouldn't do that. And if you would do that, there would be something wrong with you. Because part of having honor is to protect those that you honor. This is not just something Muslims carry, by the way. This is something people of other faiths carry. Some guy could be with his girlfriend at a bar, and some guy looks at her funny. And he says, what are you looking at? Or you disrespected, my wife or my girlfriend, and they'll start a fight. It happens all the time. When you're protective over someone, when you have honor for someone, when they are yours and you are theirs, then you do not tolerate someone humiliating them. So the idea that Muslims shouldn't be offended that something like that is done, let's just cast that out of the way. But let's start with the basics, because I expect Muslims and non-Muslims are listening to what I'm saying right now. So let's get some things out of the way. I am not here to state the obvious, even though, once I do state the obvious, I'll tell you why that is wrong. For 1/5 of the world's population to be expected to say, we condemn the killing of an innocent human being, we condemn the killing of a teacher, or we condemn killing inside of a church. For us to be, and until I come out and condemn that, there's something guilty about me. I'm hiding some sort of an agenda, right? Because now I represent the most psychotic, neurotic person you can find that carries the name of a Muslim or says a phrase that a Muslim would say, and therefore their behavior is something I need to distance myself from. Because there's a commonality between them and me. They use the word Allah that I use. Therefore, I am half guilty already. Therefore, I must prove my innocence first. The killing of one innocent human being is disgusting. I believe in the Quran, when it came, Allah Azza wa Jal told His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to speak up for the baby girl that's being buried alive by the pagan Arab, who was born in a pagan family, who had nothing to do with this religion. The Quran told me to come and speak about the orphan that was being pushed around. The orphan's a pagan and the one pushing him is a pagan. No human life is worthless, Muslim or non. That's the Muslim view. I'd like to remind Muslims of this point, that every single life, the taking of one life, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَتَلَ النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا, is Allah's words. And Allah's words are above your feelings, no matter what you think of non-Muslims. No matter what you think of them. That's first. Let's be clear about that. But let's not be children either. And I'm sorry, some things I'm going to say today may be offensive to some. But I'm actually not really sorry. You can make whatever drawings you want. First of all, you don't know anything what the Prophet looked like. Anyway. But you know what those pictures really are? They're a reflection of how they see Muslims. That's what it is. But beyond that, let's talk a little bit about our Muslim responses. Well, our response is, boycott French products. Or let's protest against what's happened. Let's call for a protest. Have we gone down this road before? And if you want to boycott, do it. If you want to protest, do it. But is that it? That's it? Now I'm not buying Chanel perfume anymore? I've done my job? I'm good. Or I put some angry face emojis on social media. I'm done. I've done my part. Well, what else do you want us to do? And what's the third option? We should take matters in our own hands. We should respond. We should let them know how angry we are. And let me tell you something about that from the other side. Are there elements within the Muslim community of people that are pretty much psychotic, pretty murderous shayateen, that wear the label of Islam, wear the label of Muslim? Yes. And are they looking for an excuse of provocation to do something that's already brewing inside them? They just need a justification. Yes. Yes, they are. And once they take such an action, such a disgusting, satanic act of killing somebody, the disgusting, satanic act of beheading somebody, once they do that, well, you know what? That opens up another floodgate of opportunity for some other people. Because they know the Muslims are not out to behead people. They already know that. They've done their research, believe me. They know. They've surveyed our communities. They know. What they do know, though, is Islam is, it's not losing its original flavor fast enough. These people still want to eat halal meat. These women still want to wear hijab. They're still dressing modestly. They're still going to the mosque. The churches are empty and that's okay, but these mosques, they're still filling up. You know? And it's not a good look for us. It looks good when we colonize their lands and then impose our will and our education systems on them and teach them that Arabic is not important, the prayer is not, Quran is not important, learn French, learn English, learn German, so you can move up in the world. But when we bring these backwards villagers to our countries, then they need to get with the times and modernize themselves. And if they're still holding on to the religion, they must be extreme in some way. So let's first make sure we demonize them by calling them extremists, right? And justify the most evil among them, or the crazy among them. Let's find some case, and that will justify how we deal with all of them. All of you are crazy until we say otherwise, right? You know, insulting someone in the name of free speech, the hypocrisy of it is so loud. It's so incredibly loud. Today, there's a political movement against racism. So if someone even in these countries were to say something racist, outright racist, there would be a public outcry. No, you can't say that. You can't teach that in schools. You lose your job. Why? Because it's against the sensitivity of a certain group of people. You have them feeling inferior. And that's absolutely correct. But now, for Muslims, fair game, right? You can offend them all you want, because they're probably extremist anyway. They need to learn to get with the program with the rest of us. This is the position we keep getting put into. But what is our response supposed to be beyond anger, beyond protest? We're 1/5 of the world's population. We have the most powerful document in existence in our possession, and we recite it rigorously with our hearts and souls. And we can't come up with a better solution? We can't come up with something smarter? So, you know what we should do? We should do the thing that pleases Allah the most, and the thing that kuffar who hate Islam hate the most. This is the time for you and me to show how much Islam is an inseparable part of our identity, and an inseparable part of our identity for generations to come. If you're somebody who was barely praying, you should say, you know what? Because you hate my Islam so much, now I'm going to pray 5 times. You were thinking about hijab, you're not sure about, you know what? Because you hate Islam so much, and because you want me to let it go, now I'm going to wear it even more. Now I'll put it on. I was thinking about my beard. Nope, now it's coming. Because I will offend you with what makes Allah happy, what brings me closer to my Prophet. I will offend you with it. You like offending him? Oh, I love offending you when you hate him. I'll offend you by completely transforming how I think about educating myself, how I think about educating my children. All of these acts of provocation, what's the purpose of them? The purpose of them is to say, these people don't belong in our society. So let's just show how crazy they are, so we can find some kind of legislative way or social pressure way of getting rid of them, or scare them enough so that they look more French and less Muslim. They become more like us and less like themselves. Once we can accomplish that, then we'll be okay. Because if you look like us and act like us and basically accept cultural enslavement, because you backwards people need to get with the program, right? Well, you know what? Why is it that it's not time that we demonstrate that the most intelligent human beings, the most civilized human beings, the most balanced human beings, the most mature human beings are people who carry this faith? That we're the most stable of them all. It doesn't matter what society we go to, we are its biggest assets because of how we carry ourselves, the way you run your business, the way you start institutions.